The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
This is the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
it might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't
The
care.
B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The B.S. Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. We are a week away from the 2011 NFL season that we weren't sure was going to happen. And you know what that means. On the Subway Fresh Take Hotline for the first time in a long time, Cousin Sal, what's happening?
Oh, it's so good to be back.
It's good to have you back. Yeah. How you feeling?
I'm good. I mean, well, you know what? I shouldn't feel so excited because we knew this lockout wasn't going to. I mean, it was for sissies, really, right? As far as lockouts go.
Right.
I mean, you know, if either side had any set of balls, they'd walk out on the current collective bargaining agreement and show me something. I'm challenging them right now because that was nothing. I was not worried at all.
I have to say, it was a fun little curveball because I just didn't think about the NFL for like 5 months. And I thought it was fun when there was 3 weeks of just crazy signings and every day 15 things was happening. I kind of enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie.
That was great. To help out, I made an index card for all 32 teams and was like writing furiously down who everyone signed, and then at the end I put a bullet in my head. I mean, it was just crazy. It was just nuts. So, but they really should do that every year.
I'm still learning who's on whose team. I just found out Mike Sims-Walker what's he on, the Rams?
Rams, yeah.
I just found that out like 3 days ago. I was like, whoa, that's kind of a significant thing potentially. He's not terrible. But
you made us bet a boatload on the Rams. You didn't even know they had Mike Sims-Walker.
Well, that made me feel even better about it. Yeah, it was exciting. We have the Rams at 2-1 to win the NFC West. But today we're going to talk about. Well, let's talk about over-unders first. And then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll do that. But let me just say, we should maybe give out our picks so generously. We should maybe pay. People should have to pay to get them. We're so horrible over the years, you know. And there's so much money to be made, and here we are. We freely give out. Oh, we took the Rams to win the NFC West, you know.
Yeah.
We should also recap some of the damage we did this summer. We did have Dallas at 6, right?
Yeah, we had Dallas at 6. We hedged it a little bit in Game 4, but overall it was a win, so that was good. The Mavericks. But
our losing ways continued. We should start with we really liked the 20-1. We like Cleveland via the Clippers to get the first pick in the draft, right?
We didn't do it.
And we didn't do it. We stayed away. So that's as good as a loss. We bet the U.S. team over the girls, over the Chinese girls, right? Which was like, there was no way that was supposed to lose. So
the Japanese team, yeah, Women's World Cup.
We had the Seattle Mariners to win the AL West.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
45 games out. We did that at the All-Star break.
I still stand by it. You throw away that 17-game losing streak, and we were in that thing.
It was just a rough 4 or 5 weeks. Otherwise, they were right in there.
Wait a second, though. You left out one of our greatest bets, which was we parlayed the Champions League final. We had Barcelona, and I think we parlayed that with like Women's Wimbledon or something. What was the other side of that? That was a good one.
Oh yeah, who was that? Was it Federer or something? What did we do?
In Federer, it was tennis. It was the least masculine parlay we've ever made, and we won a lot of money on it. I was excited.
We won that?
Yeah, we won that. Remember Barcelona? I forget what the other one was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then
we
bet Kobayashi in the hot dog eating contest, and he wasn't even in it. So that
I know. We got refunded for that one.
Yeah. That was
for football, we have the Rams. Now last year we bet the Packers to win their division. And we lost, but they somehow won the Super Bowl. So I still feel like that was a win. That was a moral victory for us.
Well, that will not happen because for that to happen with the Rams, they would have to win the wild card.
Right.
And with 7 wins, that's not plausible, really.
Not plausible at all.
But I don't know how you want to cover this, but we maybe should have looked at the Rams a little more closely before we took them. Because did you see their first 6 or 7 games?
It's pretty bad, yeah.
versus Philly, at the Giants, versus Baltimore, versus Washington, so what? Then a bye, then at Green Bay, at Dallas, and versus New Orleans.
It's not great.
This was our first bet of the year.
Well, I think they win that Philly game week 1. And I'm going to make that one of my super contest picks. That's how confident I am in that one. Yeah, I think I'm not buying Philly at all. I'm going to start throwing out over-unders.
Go ahead.
Let's do what Joe House and I do for NBA. We'll just pick every one and we'll see how we do.
Okay.
In 5 months. And I'll just go in order of how I'm looking at these on Sportsbook.
Now, can we stay right on, or we have to go over-under on one of them?
I guess we could say right on.
Because there are a few that I have right on the number, but...
New England Patriots are 11.5. What do you think of that one?
What do you say? I think you used to follow that team, so you might have a little bit...
I did used to follow that team. I don't like the 11.5. I wish it was 11. Wait, I'll defer to you on this one.
All right. Well, I have it at 11. So they really did screw you here because they know that 11 is a good number, and I looked at it. I really think they go 5-1 before their bye. At worst, they have an easy beginning, but their extra games are at Pittsburgh and versus Indy, and that's sort of tough. I mean, that's to be expected. But I say 11. I say barely under.
All right, I'm going to say, just because I'm a homer, I'm going to say 12. So we'll disagree on that one. Because I do think they get the 4 easy wins with Buffalo and Miami, right?
Mm.
They sweep those, so they basically have to go 8-4 the rest of the games. I think they can do that.
Did they sweep Buffalo last year?
I'm pretty sure they did, yeah.
That's the only tricky team, I think, in that division.
So, for some reason, Minnesota is next.
Okay.
Their over-under is 7, minus 130, if you want to bet that. But I'm going over. I like the Vikings. I think they go at least 8-8. What do you think?
All right, I'm with you. This is one of my bigger discrepancies. I have the Vikings at 9 wins, and their over 7 is minus 130. So I like what they did. They have no Favre distraction. McNabb is better. I don't think McNabb's ever had a running back like Peterson. I don't know if anyone has, but...
you might be right on that, actually. All right, so let's tentatively, I'm going to put them in the list of teams, like possible bets.
Okay.
I'll just start making this. Giants, their over-under was 9.5, and it got bet so frantically that they actually moved the over-under from 9.5 to 9, which rarely happens, where they actually admit that they made the wrong line. Now it's just 9. It seems about right to me. I almost feel like that I would say they're going to finish 9-7. What do you think?
All right. Well, I have so many biases with this NFC East, being a Cowboys fan, and the Giants are my most hated team. So whether I believe it or not, I have to go under here. I actually do think they're going to win like 8 games, so I say under. I think they've lost too many guys on offensive line. Their last 7 games are versus Philly, at New Orleans, Green Bay, at Dallas, and Washington, and at the Jets, and then Dallas again. I see them at 7 or 8 wins.
I'm going to go under as well, just because I don't think they can win 10 games, and I don't want to pick 9. Also, it feels like karmically that team's a little bit off this year. You know,
their extra games are at New Orleans and versus Green Bay, so it's hard to go over when those are their bonus games.
I also like, in that division, I just like Philly and Dallas more, and I just don't see 3 10-win teams, so under seems safe. Jets, another tough one. They put it exactly where I would have put it, 10. What do you think?
I'm going over. I'm sorry to say. I think they're the most complete team in the NFL. I've looked at it a lot, and I think they win close to 12 games.
Yeah, I'm going to say...
They signed all the right guys. They got Cromartie back, and Willie retired. Even Plex Burris. You're going to see a guy like Plex Burris make a difference, and it's going to be heartbreaking, but they're going to win a lot of games.
I don't like what they did with their receivers. I don't think they're the same team in that part. I don't think they're going to go.
Holmes and Burris. You don't like that? What that?
I don't like Plax. I just think he's bad. I don't like. He was in the joint for too long. I kind of like Cotchery. I thought Braylon Edwards, even though I know the Jets fans, he drove him crazy. He always scared me as a Pats fan. I always felt like he was going to make a big play.
They have Derek Mason, who seems to get convert 3rd and 11s more times than you want him to when you're rooting against them. So,
So can I pick dead even, or do I have to pick a side?
Yeah, I think you could pick dead even. But it's 10.
All right.
Right?
Yeah, I'm picking dead even for that. I think it's a push. The Raiders, their over-under is 6.5. And just because they're the Raiders, I'm going under. It's a safe bet. You just prove to me that you can go over if you're the Oakland Raiders and you're owned by Al Davis.
You know, this is one of the teams. I think the Lions are the same in the NFC North. You want to root for the Raiders. You want them to do well, and I'm not going to go over for a team that lost their best player. You know, Namdi's gone, and you know it's a nice fit for that division, but I'm not going over.
And arguably they lost Zach Miller, who might have been their second best player. He's at least in the top 4. Philly is 10.5. And this is crazy because the over has been bet so heavily that it's minus 150 if you want to bet the over. I'm going under. I just think too much pressure on this team, and if I had to go either way, I would bet on them succumbing to the pressure over them magically gelling together in a 4-week span and suddenly becoming this dream team that everybody thinks. Under.
I think and hope you're right, but under could get them 10. 10 wins could be under, and I think that's actually where they'll be, and they'll win the division. But don't forget, they have a lot of trouble closing out games, and they have a smallish offensive line now, and I don't see their running game improving with that, even though McCoy was a stud last year. I say slightly under at 10.
Yeah, I think they end up at 9 or 10. And I also think Dallas wins that division, but we'll get to that. San Diego, over, under, 10.
No, I think you missed Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed Pittsburgh. Sorry about that. Pittsburgh's 10.5. And the over has been bet a little bit heavily. It's minus 130. I still like the over. I like that Pittsburgh's team. I think they're going to be better than they were last year.
I like them too. I do. I see 12 wins, and I think they separate themselves from the Ravens this year. I think, they just play good ball all year long, and they've made all the right signings, like Taylor, Willie Colon. They got everyone back, and
right.
There's Cotchery's right there. So 12 wins for the Steelers, over.
And I talked about this yesterday with Lombardi, like these continuity teams, the teams that just brought everybody back, same coaching staff, same kind of system, teams that have these young players that are ready to blossom into bigger roles, a couple of their receivers are like that. Those are the type of teams that I like this season, just because I think the lockout is really going to mess some of these teams up. They didn't have enough time to practice.
Like that's what that's what you keep hearing. The offenses aren't going to gel the first few weeks. That could screw up all these predictions, but. Yeah.
Well, in this case, I think it helps the prediction because that's basically the same team they had last year, same offense, all that stuff. Same thing coming up with San Diego's 10. I like the over. I just like them in that division. I don't like anybody else in the division. The special teams thing is not going to be as big of a factor because of the kickoffs. They're going to be healthier, et cetera, et cetera. I think they get to 11 or 12.
I do too. I have them at 11 wins. They were awful last year, and they ended up 9-7. And like you said, the special teams was a big part of it. And were you thinking that they're going to change this rule before the season starts?
That would be pretty interesting. Like I actually feel like for a future bet, that would be kind of a catastrophe because it's one of the reasons you pick the Chargers is because special teams isn't as big of an issue. I just feel like.
But
the
you
best
brought
thing
up a good point about the injuries, how they're going to kick short and everything. And
well, the best thing about a 10 for the over/under is that you can go 10-6. You just push it. So basically, they have to go 9-7 to lose. I don't see any way the Chargers go 9-7 unless Rivers got hurt. 49ers 7.5. I'm going way under on this. I don't see this at all.
You know, this division, it's first of all, let's just skip for a second. Seattle won the division, won a playoff game, and they're over under a 6. Like that. So how are you supposed to handicap this division at all? You know, like the Niners, as bad as they are, and I think they're going to be bad too. But because the division's so horrid, they're going to be in every game. But I'm going to go under. I'm going 6.
Well, let's do all three because San Fran's 7.5, Seattle is 6, St. Louis is 7.5. I like over for the Rams, obviously, because we have them. Under for the Niners. 6 for the Seahawks is basically a Tavares Jackson bet. It's just Vegas saying, we dare you to bet on Tavares Jackson and win 7 games. It seems to me like they returned a lot of their guys from last year as a team that won a playoff game last year, that have the home field, that's always wins them a couple games. On the flip side, though, the special teams was such a big part of what they did last year, and that's going to be compromised. Feels like it'll either be 5, 6, or 7 for them, right?
I had them at 6, which I think that's the number, right? 6 is
yeah.
the under. I have them right at 6, and believe me, I want to get excited for one of these teams. I know we have the Rams, so we're going to have to be watching these terrible games in December. But how much stock can you place in Tavares Jackson? And like Marshawn Lynch hasn't even played. They brought like Clinton Portis in yesterday. I don't like this offense at all. I don't.
So we think right around 6. Maybe that's
right
just
6,
a stay away. Maybe a stay away.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that.
Either way. All right. Well, at gunpoint, I'm going to go under, but I don't feel great about it. Tampa, 8 wins. Little more action on the under than the over, and people they seem to be them and Kansas City are 2 teams that people are looking at as the team that overachieved last year because of an easy schedule. A lot of things went their way, et cetera, et cetera. And now this is the year they crash back toward where they should be. I'm actually buying that. I think I'm feeling 7 and 9 for them. I'm going to go under.
Oh, really? All right, this one we disagree on. I
okay.
say 9. The number's 8, right? So I'm going over with 9. Wow, this is your guy, Josh Freeman, remember?
Uh-oh. Did I leave you a voicemail? I don't remember.
No, you didn't about Josh Freeman. You left me another one. I'll try to dig it up later, but
okay.
I like them. I think they're going to be better than Atlanta this year. I think these guys...
Whoa!
Yeah, 8 seems like a gift. I'm going 9.
Wow.
Tampa. I made the bad joke last year that Tampa 2 refers to how many wins they'll have in total last year, and they won 10, so... 9 wins would be slightly worse than last year. So
I'm not sold on them. Barnwell sold me that Carolina is going to be a little better than people think, and the New Orleans and Atlanta I think are going to be good. I'm not sold on either of them tailing off.
All right.
Tennessee, 6.5. I actually feel pretty strongly about this. I like the over. I think they win at least 7 games. They get a good month out of Matt Hasselbeck before he gets hurt. They get a little Jake Locker. I didn't like the way they were coached last year. I think they were better than they played. I like their division. I'm not totally sold on Houston. Colts are banged up. I think the Jags are going to suck. I could see them getting to 9 wins potentially. I really like the over.
Here's the problem with this division in general, I think, the AFC South. They play the AFC North and the NFC South. I think by virtue of that, I think those are the hardest schedules. So it's hard to go over with any one of these teams. I'm going 6 wins for the Titans. I have too many questions on offense, and Chris Johnson I know just signed, but I don't like it. I think we see Jake Locker pretty soon, and it's going to be awful.
So we almost vehemently disagree on that one. It's not a total vehemence, but there's a little vehemence in there.
Right.
Here's a team that Mike Lombardi really likes. He loves the way they're playing the preseason, thinks they're totally undervalued. The Washington Redskins.
I know why
over-under
Mike
6.
He's big, and why shouldn't it be? His big thing is offensive lines, and the Eagles is questionable and small. The Cowboys have like 18, 16-year-olds playing offensive line, and the Giants are a wreck too. So in a way, this is the most established team in the trenches.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think they get, what is their number here?
It's 6.
6. All right, I went right on. I said 6.
I'm going over.
And then winning the first 2 games and then not winning again until November. And I think they quit on Shanahan. His last 7 are Dallas, Seattle, the Jets, New England, the Giants, Minnesota, and Philly.
Oh, my God. Read that again.
And John Beck is the quarterback, by the way.
Hold on. We read that again?
I don't know which ones are on home or on the road, but Dallas, Seattle, Jets, New England, the Giants, Minnesota, and Philly are the last 7.
Oof. I'm going to go very tentative over, but I don't feel good about it. I could see them flipping with the Giants and being the 3rd-place team in that division, the Giants going to last. Wouldn't shock me.
I wouldn't mind. I like Hightower as a little bit of a breakout player.
Hey, here's an NFC team we haven't discussed. NFC West team, the last one. The Cardinals at 7. Probably the most difficult one to figure out. And it seems like people have been banging the over because it's minus 150 for the over. But people seem to like this one because the Kevin Kolb just kind of betting that he's going to be good, but nobody really knows. Like, the ceiling of Kevin Kolb feels like it's affected this over-under. I am not a Kevin Kolb believer, so I'm actually going to go under on this. What do you think?
I went with 8. I might regret this pick, though. I went over with 8. But now that I look at it, Kevin Kolb without a running back is a lot of pressure. Like last year he had McCoy for a while, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, who's running? Is it Beanie Wells is running the ball for them? I know Ryan Williams got hurt, but they do have an easy schedule, and they are in that NFC West. And their extra game is like Carolina and Minnesota. I like over at 8 wins.
I just thought they stunk last year. And maybe when your quarterbacks are that bad that everybody else loses the will to live. But I don't see how they could have improved the team that much just by adding Kevin Kolb. And then, that division just looks like a stinker again. So I also, didn't he stink last year when he started that first game?
He wasn't good, right? It was against Green Bay, right? And they were getting beat
Wasn't he
up.
awful?
Yeah, he was pretty bad. They had trouble scoring.
Yeah,
I don't. You know what it is. You watch
that
one preseason game, you see one highlight of a long pass to Larry Fitzgerald for a touchdown, and you're like, oh man, maybe they are back, and they are in that bad division. So this is what I mean. Like, how can you count anyone out in that division?
Let's hit 3 NFC North teams in a row. Chicago at 8, Green Bay at 11.5, and who's the third one? Why can't I find it?
Minnesota or?
No, we did. We did
Detroit.
Green Bay. Oh yeah, Detroit. Detroit at 8. It's Detroit at 8. Green Bay at 11.5. Chicago at 8. Are you on the Detroit bandwagon? First of all.
Not really. I don't think so. I have them between 6 and 7 wins. I know everybody wants them to be good, and that's.
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet. I think teams run the ball as well as Sue is and Fairley. They hope to be. Teams run the ball really well against the Lions, and let me see Stafford stay healthy for a month before we send them to the Super Bowl.
I know.
And 3 of their first 4 on the road, at Tampa, at Minnesota, and at Dallas. 3 of their first 4, so they might have trouble getting out of the gates. I'm going on.
I like that team on paper. I don't think they can stay healthy, and if my life depended on this, I would go under. I think it's a stay away though. I think they probably go 8-8, but. I think it's more realistic that Stafford and Javid Best gets hurt, Calvin Johnson misses 6 games or whatever, than that they win 10 games.
I would stay away. The one I like as a big under for the Chicago Bears.
Oh, everybody! I mean, that over/under moved. I think it started at 8.5, and then it dropped to 8.
It's
right?
8 and unders minus 125. I'm looking. Yeah,
I'm still
think
in
it's 5 or 6 games.
Totally in on that. I think we should make that one of our recommendations.
Let's do it.
Bears
first 3 are at versus Atlanta, at New Orleans, and versus Green Bay. That's 0-3. Cutler, Martz, and Roy Williams. That team's going nowhere. Sorry.
They're already down on Roy Williams. They're already killing him.
I am. Their offensive line has problems. They lost like Kreutz, and Olsen was a good blocking tight end, and you have great pass rushers in that division.
And plus, they got the career. They got the huge year out of Peppers last year, and he got himself a fantastic Madden rating. I think he coasts this year. I think he checks out. Yeah, I'm with you. I love the under. The Packers at 11.5. They're going to be at 11. They'll either finish at 11 or 12. I hate those. I think that's a stay away.
Yeah, I agree. It's a stay away. They are. I think the schedule's very favorable for them. They play.
And plus,
they play AFC West. And I'm trying to think. The thing is, it's. What do you think? Do they win that first game against New Orleans?
Yeah. Well, but the thing that worries me with them is the Rodgers concussion or pulled whatever. I need 16 games out of him to hit that over for 11.5, and I'm not sure I can get that.
The last game even means anything. The thing is, they're so deep though, and they're even deeper now with Grant and Jermichael Finley coming back, and But I don't like betting the over on the Super Bowl champ. Everyone's gunning for you, and it's going to be right around that number. So,
yeah. The only thing is nobody's talking about them, and plus there was a lockout, and it's almost like I don't know if they'll have the same issues that a lot of these defending Super Bowl champs have of everybody just blowing smoke up their butts out for 8 months. You know what I mean? If anything,
well,
it
like
seems
you
like
said, I mean, compared to like the Steelers of the AFC, the Packers, the lockout shouldn't affect them. They got all their pieces in place from last year. So.
Well, you made a good point. We both like the Steelers this year, and it's pretty rare for both Super Bowl teams to come back really strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say under with some weird stuff going on, like Rodgers missed a couple games, things like that. I think it's a safer bet. Let's go to the AFC South, where we have the Houston Texans at 9. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6.5. And we have the Indianapolis Colts, who were at 10, but now are off the board because of Peyton Manning. If that was on the board, would you go over or under 10 wins?
I'm tell you what. I'm assuming he's going to play. I'm assuming he's going to be the Peyton Manning we know, and I think they're going to win 9 games.
So you go under.
Tough schedule. They have a really tough schedule. They go against the AFC North, 2 good teams there. NFC South, 3 good teams there. And their extra games are at New England and KC. I mean, they could go 3-4 to start and bounce back. I have them winning 9 games with a Manning.
I think they could win less than that. Lombardi and I talked about it a little yesterday. Like, they haven't had a really good draft in a couple of years. They didn't really even play that well last year, and they lost a playoff game at home to the Jets. That I didn't even feel like the Jets played that well in that game. This could be the year we've been waiting for 10 years, where the Colts go 6-10, and it's just so hard to stay at a high level in the NFL like that. Year after year they win 10 games.
No, and you're right. And then I don't think they're making enough of a deal out of this Anthony Costanzo. They like him, obviously. He's their first-round pick from BC, but he's protecting Peyton Manning. He's the starting left tackle, and this is the guy who's coming back from injury. I don't know if that's the best. I don't know if throwing him out to the Wolves this early is the way to go.
They've whiffed on some picks. Donald Brown is a borderline bust. Anthony Gonzalez can't stay on the field. They traded number 1 for Tony Ugo, which I don't think they'd do that one again. So at some point that's got to catch up with you. Texans, you buying or selling?
I have them at 8. Where is it?
It's at 9, and being wagered on heavily. They're minus 170 right now. Yeah.
Minus 170. Wow.
Yeah, it's a little high.
No, I like 8 because they were 6-10, and now Wade Phillips is their defensive coordinator. So I'm giving them 2 extra games. How much more can you really give this team?
I don't like their coach. I keep saying this in the podcast. He hasn't shown me that he could coach a playoff team.
Yeah.
Which is why I keep looking back at this Tennessee team. Because if we don't like the Colts, and we don't like the Texans, and we don't like the Jaguars, then somebody's got to win that division. The Jaguars are 6.5. I'm with you on the Texans under. I mean, maybe if you feel like the Texans and Colts aren't going to be that good, maybe you go over on the Jags. Maybe they get to 7 wins.
You know what? I had the Jags at a miserable 5 wins this year. They're at the Jets. They play the Chargers. They play the AFC North and NFC South. They played 6 playoff teams this year. They have no pass rush against these monster quarterbacks. I don't like it at all.
And they don't spend money.
They don't even. They're Garrard, Gabbert. Like they're going. Everyone thinks MJD is going to be healthy all year. You know how he gets banged up. I don't like it. All
right, so we just went under on the Texans, Colts, and Jaguars. And you went under on the Titans. So you think the AFC South is going to be the NFC West this year, basically?
Yeah, but you could do that because they all have tough schedules this year, so they could all be under or on the money. So I think Colts win the division with 9 wins.
New Orleans and Atlanta, they both have over-unders of 10. The difference is that the Cardinals are basically even odds for the over for 10. For the Saints, you have to bet minus 150 to win 100 for the 10, which means that a lot of people have been banging the over. I like the Saints. I just think they're going to be better. The running game's going to be better. Going over for that. Atlanta, 10 wins feels about right to me. I don't think they can get to 11. I would actually just pick 10 for them. What do you think?
I'm going over with the Saints. I think they have something to prove. Less of a spotlight on them this year. Their offense should be the best in the NFC, I think. I mean, they and the Packers will trade off. And I think the Falcons, we go under a little bit. I think 13 wins last year was a lot for them. I see them getting 9. Going under.
Well, you know, that they kind of gutted their draft to get Julio Jones, so everybody likes, everybody's raving about. But yet, we weren't able to start. Lombardi and I talked about this yesterday. We weren't able to start training camp until August. Mm-hmm. Rookie receivers in general don't really do that well anyway, especially, you know, in normal cases, they get drafted, they come to mini camp, they're working with the quarterback every day for 3-4 months. This guy's got a playbook thrown at him and met Matt Ryan 5 weeks ago. So I just don't think he's going to have that much of an impact. And then Gonzalez is a year older, more teams gunning at them. It feels like 9 or 10 wins for them. I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I say 3-3 in the division. I say they beat Carolina both times and maybe beat Tampa and then lose to the Saints twice. I think they underachieve in general.
All right, two really, really bad teams, potentially. The Buffalo Bills, 5.5. The Carolina Panthers, 4.5. I'm going over on Carolina. I think they could actually get to 6 or 7 wins. I'm with Barnwell. And then the Bills.
I'm going under.
I
tried to look at a way that they might compete this year, but I don't like it at all. Their last 7. This is if they don't quit on their coach Ron Rivera. Last 7 at Detroit, at Indy, at Tampa Bay, versus Atlanta, at Houston, versus Tampa, at New Orleans. That's a rough stretch. That's rough.
Yeah, that's
I don't
not
know
great.
if Cam Newton's going to be calling plays then or what, but I don't like it.
What do you think of Cam
Going
Newton?
under. 3 wins.
3 wins. Wow.
3 wins. Someone's got to have 3 wins.
I'm going over. I think they get to at least 5. And I'm going under for Buffalo because it just dawned on me like a week ago that Chan Gailey is still their head coach. I just assumed at some point during the lockout they quietly fired him. And then I was watching NFL Live or one of those shows, and they were like, and Fitzpatrick in this Chan Gailey offense. I'm like, really? Chan Gailey's back. Wow. So I'm going under.
I like over. I'm going 6 wins, but it's sort of like it's mostly a stay away. I think. There's the opposite of the Dolphins. The Dolphins are so horrible to watch, and they still end up with 6 or 7 wins. And the poor Bills are in every game, and they have trouble getting the 4 wins. But I'm going over.
Well, I'm going under for them for the same reason I'm going under for the Miami Dolphins, 7.5. I don't think either of those teams can beat the Patriots or Jets, which means they're 0-4 heading into the rest of the 12 games. I feel strongly enough about Miami that if you feel the same, I think we should include them in our best bets.
That is absolutely one of my way unders. I like them for 4 wins this year. They're supposed to get, what, 7 or 6.5?
The over-under 7.5.
I don't understand that at all. I really don't.
It's dumbfounding.
They added Reggie Bush, and Matt Moore to a struggling offense. I know Moore won't start, at least in the beginning, but I think this team goes 1-5 in the division and then has trouble against the NFC East and the AFC West. I have them 4 wins.
I think they're going to be terrible.
Yeah.
We better be careful, though, because Miami sends angry emails and tweets, so let's be at least a little magnanimous. Another terrible team, potentially, the Cincinnati Bengals. Their over-under is 5.5, and it's been bet heavily in the under. Minus 155 in the under so far. I got to be honest, I like the over. I don't think that...
Really?
Yeah, they got a good running game. They got a good defense. They... I don't know. Coach is decent. I think they can get to 6 wins.
Wow, I see them as a disaster, and they're in the wrong division. I think the Ravens and Steelers play tough, and they don't take any games off, and the Browns seem to have something to prove. They're on the rise. I don't know if they win a game in this division. I think they go 1-5. I mean, the quarterback left. Basically, he's not playing. A coach that should have been fired years and years ago. A running back's going to start the season in jail. I don't know. It's a mess.
Well, you just put a lot of doubt in my mind. I'm going to go the very, very tentative over, and I'll probably change it by the time I write my column next week. The Browns, I'm just not buying it. Too many people on the bandwagon. I actually think they finished 7-9. They're over under 7. And I think they hit that. Broncos, over under is 6. I got to be honest. I like the over because Orton's going to be the quarterback. I don't think he's terrible.
I'm looking now. I think I have them at 7. Yeah, I have them at 7 wins. I
wouldn't bet it. Yeah, I wouldn't bet it, but I do like that one a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, the Chiefs, also in their division, they're over under 7.5. Man, I think that team does a big tail off this year. I think a lot of things went their way last year. By the end of the season, teams had really figured them out. They lost the Week 17 game. They lost pretty badly in the playoffs. I'm not buying it. And I don't really like Todd Haley either, so I'm going under. What do you think?
It is weird. Like the Chiefs are at 7.5. They won their division. Seattle won their division. They were, what were they, 6 or 5.5? What was their over-under? But
they was
Vegas is caught on. This is much tougher schedule. Starting at Week 11, the Chiefs have at New England versus Pittsburgh, at Chicago, at the Jets, and versus Green Bay. So they're going to be in trouble, I think.
Well, I think we hit every team except for one.
Did we do it?
Dallas Cowboys. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And their over-under is 9. Even odds for the over. I love this. I think they win 10 or more. What do you think?
I think they win 9 and 9 exactly. I just think they have soft players on defense. Aside from DeMarcus Ware, I think Rob Ryan's going to have a tough time adjusting to this personnel. And I think they have a very young offensive line. I don't think it'll be Tony Romo's fault if they lose this year. I think you'll see a lot of defensive schemes that either are hit or miss. But I say 9 wins. 9 wins is a 3-game improvement from last year. Going 9 and 7.
This feels so reverse jinxy to me.
How is that a reverse jinx? I'm picking the exact over-under number.
I feel like you're more optimistic deep down than you're letting on.
Well, how am I supposed to get excited? I mean, and then I'm miserable.
I'll give you a couple ideas. First of all, Jason Garrett's using the real playbook this year, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Romo's back. You have no more Marion Barber. Felix Jones is going to be unleashed. You have the Dez Bryant is back and getting everybody excited and healthy and doing his thing. Second-year receiver, usually does well. You know he's going to be a high fantasy pick. And you have the whole thing with everybody's on the Eagles bandwagon. So some nice things to have in your favor. You got to.
I know. I like the offense. I like it. I think we have a nice balanced team. But Sunday night, September 11th, when we lose 33-10 to the Jets, I'm going to be very upset. So I'm not going to get excited now.
All right. So I can't talk you into that over. So it looks like we agreed on 5 bets here. 3 overs and 2 unders.
I think we like more unders than overs, right?
No, we had 3 overs and we had 2 unders. The overs were the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
Over 7.
Yeah.
We had the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Over 10.5. Right?
Yep.
We had the San Diego Chargers over 10.
Right.
We have the Chicago Bears under 8.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite bet on the board, the Miami Dolphins, under 7.5.
Oh.
I'm going to make that my lock of the year.
I like that. I would add the Jaguars and the Bengals to those unders, but otherwise that's a good 5 right there.
Okay. Quickly, let's hit the top QB futures.
The top QB futures?
Yeah, for passing yards. Just wanted to get your perspective on these. Just for the hell of it.
Look, okay.
Yeah. Tony Romo, your boy Tony Romo, plus 1,500 to finish with the most passing yards this year. What do you think?
Wow, 15-1. He could be around 4,000. He could get there, but
it's in the mix, right?
Yeah, I just don't see much. Even in Dez Bryant, I don't see many big plays. If you're going to go big yards, you have to get 6 or 7 big plays. And Des Bryant has become more, thank God, of a more possession receiver over the middle. At least this is what they're showing in preseason and what we saw at the end of last year with Kitten as his quarterback. So to get those big yards, I think you need big plays, and there's going to be a lot of dump-offs to Felix Jones and Witten. So.
All right.
But
Ben Roethlisberger?
Huh?
What do you think Ben Roethlisberger's odds are, just out of curiosity?
9-1?
30-1.
Wow.
I mean, that could happen.
I like that. It seems like every time he looked up, there was a bomb to Mike Wallace, and either he caught it or he didn't.
Let's discuss that when we get off on the podcast. Rushing yards. You love LeGarrette Blount.
I do.
20-1.
I like him. I think there's one where he's 5 yards rushing over Ray Rice.
Oh yeah, you texted me about that.
I wasn't kidding either. I really love him. I love him to go crazy this year. And Ray Rice might catch passes and everything. That doesn't fit to this prop. But LeGarrette Blount, go for it.
What do you think? What do you think about LaShawn McCoy at 20-1 to win the rushing title?
Huh. Chris Johnson definitely signed. Wow, 20.
Did he sign today?
Coming from? He signed. He signed like 10 minutes before we got on. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. He's plus 300.
Can we start this whole thing again?
That makes me feel better about my Tennessee pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rushing title is a weird one. But it does seem like you just bet on a couple of these long shots. All right, receiving title. Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's see. So we got...
Is Roddy White the favorite?
Roddy White. Andre Johnson's the favorite.
I like Roddy White, I think.
How about Mike Wallace? How about Mike Wallace at 15-1? Miles Austin at 12-1.
Who was 12?
Miles Austin.
Yeah, I think he's declining role. I think a little bit this year.
All right. Roddy White, your boy, is 4-1. Not great.
That's
Not
good
great
on turf. They're going to throw a lot.
I thought this was interesting. Fitzgerald is 5-1.
Wow.
So that's basically like you're betting on Kevin Cobb, and if Kevin Cobb comes through, you have Larry Fitzgerald at 5-1. He's going to win the title.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of enjoy that.
That's not bad.
And then finally, I wanted to get your take on the Super Bowl. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
What is it? The kicking title?
No, the Super Bowl.
Oh. The Super Bowl will be won by the New York Jets over the New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
29-19.
So you got the Jets plus 1,200. 12-1 odds.
Is that what it is?
That's your pick. That's your pick.
Yep.
I already did the Patriots.
You have to wait, right? Because you have 16 columns, right, between now and then.
Well, I already wagered on the Patriots at 5-1.
You did?
But I mean, it was a total homer move, and I got excited. I saw it in the thing. I think the best odds, if you're just doing from an odds standpoint, just what is my best value?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say probably either the Steelers at 8-1 or the Chargers 12-1. Just because the Chargers might get it too.
Right? I mean, if you have them 8-1 in late December, you're ecstatic.
Right.
They don't really go away. That's pretty safe.
And the Chargers, you know, with that division and their schedule and all the other factors, they could end up being a 2 seed pretty easily.
Yeah. I couldn't believe I looked back that they won 9 games. Well, I felt like we were down on them every game last year. They weren't even close to winning division. I'm like, my God, they won 9 games.
I know.
They're going to win 19 games this year. It's crazy.
All right, so on Tuesday, you and I are going to do the Week 1 lines.
Yes. We may have to email them to each other ahead of time because I'm starting to get, leading tweets and stuff that I have to try to ignore, and I'm sure you're getting 10 times that.
I have been diligently avoiding any sign of any line. I can honestly say that I do not know a single line for any game.
Good. All right.
Very proud to say that. Oh, we never talked about the early Super Bowl line. One of our favorite bets that I think we've lost 3 of the last 7 years.
I know this went horribly wrong for us. I can't even remember what it was, but
Whoever the wrong team was, we had it. Yeah. Right now, it's even.
Is that right?
Dead even.
I wouldn't even know what to do with that. I think the NFC's top 3 are better than the AFC's, but obviously I just took the Jets to win the Super Bowl, so I don't know.
Last thing, your Uncle Frank died last week.
What?
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. We had the funeral in Vegas last weekend, and unfortunately your show is on hiatus.
Yeah, we're off for 2 weeks, which he would have liked because he wanted everyone to work. So if anyone would have missed work because as a result of his death, he would have been very, very upset.
He probably would have.
Yeah, we went to Vegas. You were nice enough to come out, and we told some stories, and we're gonna miss that guy. He was a big sports fan back in his day. I told a story about how he played in the New York Giants minor league system. And he hit off of Harvey Haddix, who pitched a 12-inning no-hitter, and he loved talking about that. And, he had a Forrest Gumpish type life. He was a Caesar's Palace security guard for Frank Sinatra. Like I said, he played minor league ball, and he was in the Korean War. And then these last 8 years, he was an on-air talent for his nephew, my cousin Jimmy's show, and New York City cop for 20 years. He really did it all. Really wonderful life. We're going to miss him. God damn it.
Yeah.
You made me cry on this podcast.
That was good. It was definitely the most interesting memorial service I'll ever go to. It lasted over 2 hours. I think like 13 or 14 different people spoke. At some points it took on like some roast qualities, but yet I think every person who spoke ended up crying.
Yeah.
And it was just great, and the stories were great. And I wrote about him last week, and somebody emailed me and said that that the way he was described made them think of the coach from Cheers, which was a connection I had never really made, but it's pretty good, right?
Do that? Yeah.
How did we never think of that? They even had the silver hair.
Wow.
But it's the same. It's definitely the same sort of thing. And I remember at the end of Cheers, in the last scene, Ted Danson adjusted the picture that was of the coach before he left the bar, and it made me think of Frank. But so you guys come back on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday?
Come back Tuesday. We have reruns until then, but yeah, we're gonna have a tribute for Uncle Frank, and Don Rickles will be the guest, and I think Stained is the band, which is one of his favorites. So
that's good. How'd you get Stained to play for him?
Yeah, we sort of forgot about the tribute part, the 55th minute in the hour. So it should be good.
So your cousin, does he get through Act 1?
I think he will, only because it'll have been like almost 2 weeks. But
right.
But I don't know. He broke down when his receptionist left. So I don't know what kind of odds we put on that.
I would say he's a -170 favorite to well up. But I'll take whatever odds you get.
Can I play this message you left me? I just dug it up now.
Oh, I forgot about that. What was it? When was it from?
Well, it must have been. I think it was from 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
But
I don't remember.
Message.
Cousin Sal, sports guy checking in. Just cuddling up to my trusty dog and a pint of Sam Adams, watching PTI and ESPN, FYI. And what do I see? Filling in for some guy named Uncle Tony. A beautiful, beautiful bastard of a man, sporting the most elegant and mystifying mustache I've ever laid eyes on. Looks like someone grabbed a hamster from a rave in West Hollywood and took it to the dry cleaners and stuck it on the face of a Greek god. And now I'm listening to him speak. He's talking about how if they ever made an Entourage movie, Kaiser Sose would make a great turtle. I don't know what that means either, but I can listen to him talk all day. He sounds like Robbie Benson going through his third tour of puberty. I can't take my eyes off this guy. He looks like Bo Derek and Charlie Chaplin conceived a child in the mosh pit of a Pearl Jam concert. Anyway, I gotta go hit the flea market, see if I can buy a poster of this handsome devil, hang him up on my wall, right next to Larry Bird, Larry Sanders, and Larry from Three's Company. Great to be in love again. Over and out. Road rules.
Wow, that's weird that I left that message about seeing myself on PTI. I didn't realize I did that.
It was you.
It was me, yeah. That was me with the mustache, I think.
Wait a minute, now it makes sense. So you fell in love with yourself. What a weird thing.
I must have blacked out because of the HD or something.
Yeah, you have to figure, you know what, we just have to disconnect your phone, I think.
It's probably probably a good idea for me not to call you at home. Cousin Sal, we will Monday or Tuesday. Can you do Tuesday morning?
Good times. Can't
Tuesday
wait.
morning?
Very exciting.
You can do Tuesday morning though, right?
Yeah, Tuesday morning. Yeah, because Labor Day Monday. Tuesday.
All right. The week one lines, and for the record, I am 2-0, and I owe 2 Subway sub beatings, which we still have. We're gonna tape.
I have to beg you to beat me with the Subway. It's ridiculous.
No, we're doing it. We're videotaping. We're putting it on the website.
We are.
So get ready for that. Oh, it's gonna happen.
I know you're worried about retaliation, but I just want to let you know that you should be. No, I will let you beat me with the Subway.
Okay. I'm excited to do that. Cousin Sal, until next week.
All right, buddy. Talk to you then.
All right, that's it for BS Reports for this week. We will be coming back to you on Tuesday with an extravaganza for week one. We're going to have a whole bunch of people. That's going to be on Tuesday. Enjoy the Labor Day weekend. Check out Grantland.com for my column going up Friday. Until then.
So I get to sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at PodCenter at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.